All right, hello and welcome to Stampscaping 101, or is it the Stampscapes Lab? Maybe the Stampscapes Lab's a better term for this because we're going to be doing a little bit of an experiment on this textured silver glitter cardstock. All right, it's a pretty thick cardstock and it was really inexpensive, and it was one of those things that I thought I could mount, some of my cards on even if I didn't work directly on them, just for a little bit of a kind of a perimeter bling on my card formatting. I thought that would be really cool. But it'd be kind of nice, and an extra bonus, if we can create something out of this. Now, this is just all too busy of a surface right here. So what I'm going to try to do, just like I do on holographic cardstocks or holographic printable vinyls, is to just kind of mute the background a little bit so that we have, I don't know, just a little bit more of the character of the stamps, the impressions that are on top of it, where it's just not being drowned out so much by this super busy background, okay? So, I mean, this is not, the type of thing that this is made for, this cardstock. I don't think they intended for people to stamp on it, okay? It's like something that people would be using to cut out shapes in and, to make, I don't know, different types of constructions for parties and, that type of thing. Not really surfaces for different artwork. It's, more like pieces for, your crafting projects, okay? All right, so let's see how this goes. I think this is kind of muting things down a little bit. Now, this isn't really applying very thickly over the top of this because this cardstock it's textured, so you really got to work to get some of this pigmenting down into those grooves. I don't know, maybe I should use a different type, but the Brilliance pigmenting will dry on just about anything, okay? You might have to spray seal it, but it will dry. Some pigmentings will not dry on a non-porous surface, okay? Now this is a pitted surface, but I don't think it's porous, okay? I don't think anything's kind of absorbing back into the pulp of this paper. Okay, so we have this little bit of a foundation. Wow, that's quite a difference right there, huh? You see the light, not glaring off of the surface. It's really quite a big slathering, I guess, that I applied here. So, okay, I'm going to try to build this up a little bit more. And just going to get this kind of hazy background in here. I plan on using my winter ash trees on here. I figured this would make a pretty decent kind of a winter scene. It's that silvery shimmer, so kind of a festive and, I don't know, kind of icy looking surface. Okay, so I'm just going for kind of a larger field of white down below, and then up top I'm going for more of a translucent application. I thought it was all translucent until I held it like that, but you see that kind of blotchy application up there? I don't know. I think it'll just, I'm trying to get it to represent clouds or something like that, or just some atmospheric mist in the background. That's what I don't know. That's it in theory. We'll see if this works at all. Okay, I really honestly don't know. I'm not even sure if I can get a really good impression on this surface or not. Okay, I'm going to go with the StazOn. StazOn just adheres very nicely to just about anything. Okay, non-porous surfaces, porous surfaces, whatever. Okay, let's see if I can get a decent impression with the snowy bank here, okay? It's a light and airy image. So So I don't plan on it being like a real solid looking impression, even if it does. And again, it's a very textured surface, so this rubber is not going to be getting into the groove, so it might be a little bit of a broken image. Okay. I probably don't need to hold that down too long because it's either going to print on there or it's not. Okay, I can hardly see it like that, but when I go like that, that's not too bad, right? Now, one of the things that we need to consider is I have a lot of lighting in my studio here, so maybe something that's more indicative of how we'll look at this, in regular lighting is something more like that. I have a lot of these 6 bulb, filler lights, flood lamps, okay, for this studio here. Okay, so here comes the winter ash trees. I might use both sizes. Okay, plenty of pressure. Okay. It's kind of interesting, huh? Can you see all that texture that's in there? Now, some papers are kind of textural like that, but they're very smooth. This one, it looks textured and is textured. Okay, it's not a flat surface. Okay, so I don't know. I'm pretty pleased at the impression quality. I think it's not too bad considering how just textured this is. It's really pitted. I have to really hold it up like this, so I can't see that background one at all until I go like that. I don't know. I keep saying the word interesting, but it really is. I'm seeing something just completely different than what I've seen before with other types of surfaces. So it just has a different kind of look or effect. Okay, so let's see if I can get some additional tone down here. My go-to medium for brilliance ink over the top of non-porous surfaces or printable vinyl holographic sticker paper are colored pencils. So I almost have to hold this up at an angle because I can't even see the image, or I can barely see it. So I don't know. How do I do this here? It's like I need to go like this, maybe. Oh, I don't know. I guess I can get the gist of it. Kind of. Maybe I can't. Okay, so adding some of this blue, and I'm adding it into the kind of the shaded areas of the design, which means that I'm just looking for kind of the darker areas, okay? Now, this colored pencil is applying pretty well on the top of that Brilliance ink, okay? And plus, this paper is very textured, so it's really grabbing the ink pretty well. Okay, I find it easier to work at an angle like this so I can see my imagery in here. Okay, so I think I figured it. This is really stiff cardstock too, so kind of holding it like this just with your hand is it's very easy to do. I don't have to press too hard with the colored pencil. It's pretty easy to do. It's with all that texture on there. It's almost like coloring. Maybe not sandpaper, but it's like one of those sanding discs that you get that has some really coarse grit on it. It's like a circular sander or something like that. It kind of reminds me of the texture of that. All right, that was one tone of blue. I'm going to go for a second, a little bit of a warmer blue here. Lighter, slightly lighter blue. All right, this is looking better than I thought it would. Or maybe even better than I hoped it would. You hope it works, but I wasn't expecting this amount of kind of ease of application of I don't know, all the media, I guess. Now, when I was laying down some of that Brilliance ink down there, I mean, that was the first color, so I wasn't even quite sure if I was applying anything. It was really hard to see. Okay, let me see if I can highlight some of these trees with my white pencil. It might be easier to do than my white paint pen, I'm not sure. Okay, now. Okay, this isn't working because I don't have the Brilliance ink underneath a lot of that area in there. This pencil right here actually isn't very soft. It's not the Prismacolor. Okay, I'm going to try it with this. All right. This is not the best pen to be using like on, you know, basically sandpaper. And I'm a little bit hesitant to do it because this is my, I don't know, I need to buy another pack of some pens pretty soon. But, okay, so I'm adding some highlights. You're not going to be able to see this at all, but I'm adding it to some of the tops, mostly the tops of the branches. If a branch is vertical, then I'm adding it to one side of the branch. Okay, so let me see if you can see that. See that right there? See those kind of highlights like that? I won't do it overall. I'll do it over some of the main branches and, you know, maybe the trunk as well. I hope I'm not sanding my tip away here. This is something. Oh, you know what? I just realized something. This is the Dr. Martens is probably the perfect thing to use for this. Let's give it a try. Just a loose, soft paintbrush, right? Okay. I don't do too much painting, but let's see if this works out. I don't even know if I have a decent enough paintbrush here to get, you know, give myself a, you know, a nice point. This is not a Winsor Newton Series 7 Sable. All right, let's see if I can get this in here. This paint dries awfully fast, so I'd have to be pretty quick about it. It looks pretty good though. Yeah, this paint is staying on pretty wet on my brush here, which is good. Okay. I'm not going to add this, I don't know, kind of snow or ice to, a lot of the smaller branches, maybe a couple of them. This might actually be a good idea to use on some of the snowy bank as well. It's like a little highlight. It certainly seems easier than the the paint pen. This surface is just so textured. So yes, this is doing very nicely. New technique here, folks. And this is it's a more opaque white, so it's a little bit whiter than the Brilliance White cotton ball application. Okay, so this is what this is looking like right now. Okay. I am adding this on some of these lower, smaller branches. Not all of them, but just a few. I think it looks so good in this. Paint is staying reasonably wet on my brush. Okay, so that has that nice shimmer to it like that. All right. Let's look for a focal point here. I'm looking for my new elk. Calling all elk. Here we go. Still mounted on my block. Okay. I want to press decent, but not over pressure. Wasn't even sure I made the impression because I can't see it when it's like that. So there it is, like that. Look at that shimmer to it. There's a little bit more shimmer, a lot of shimmer. It's like gone. It's like invisible, my invisible message here. But look how dimensional this looks. I think it looks, pretty good in terms of kind of the illusion of space. Not outer space, but distance. Yeah, just a little white on this elk here. All right. Let's grab my pen once again, or pencil. And let's add a little bit, now we know where the elk is. Let's add a little shadow underneath the creature. Go like that, just to anchor him down a little bit. A little bit of a darker blue, maybe. Okay, I haven't used this blue yet. It's a little bit darker, but the shadows on here are looking, you know, pretty decent, so just adding a little bit more of them at a time to see how that looks. Okay. Fairly interesting. And let's hit it with a little bit of pigment ink over the top of this in kind of minimal areas because it's already fairly light over most of it, but I'm just kind of softening up some of this area down below. Those little frayed pieces of cotton because this is so textural. All right, so this is the piece. This is the card. This is the experiment. It worked out a lot better than how I thought it would look, but like I said, there's still a lot of glare on here from all of my lights, but I have a feeling that it looks more like this. Okay. Just under normal light. So I'll take a look at that. And we'll format this. I got to figure out a good card base for this to frame it off and to get it formatted. Maybe something very minimal, like a matte black or something like that, just because this is so busy looking with all that light in there. So I don't know. We'll have to figure it out. Okay, so that was my little experiment there. Thanks so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. And, you know, if you have this type of paper or anything close to it, I don't know, maybe think about giving it a try. The Brilliance ink, once again, really saves the day in terms of being able to do this type of, you know, formation down here. It feels dry and it seems adhered. They're pretty good. Not, you know, it probably should be spray sealed a little bit, but it's not too bad. It's grabbing that pretty decently. When I was doing the colored pencils, it wasn't rubbing off or something like that, you know, and the colored pencils were just applying to over the top of it really nicely. So, yeah. High shimmer, that's for sure. All right, thanks again, and hope to see you on the next video.